Dear Africans, after my last post, I have to tell you I'm pretty disappointed because I saw how many of you still believe we are living some kind of beautiful, wealthy, happy life. But listen carefully. What you see is not the truth. What you see is a mask they built for you to admire. Yes, they keep us with houses and cars. Yes, they keep our streets looking clean and our shops looking full. But it's not because they care for us. It's only because they need us numb enough not to fight back. They need us distracted, sedated, believing we are free while they extract from us just as they extract from you. The only reason they let us appear wealthy is so we don't realize we are slaves to the system too. Slaves to debt, to bills, to poisoned food and water, to endless advertising, to dopamine cycles that keep us scrolling instead of waking. From the outside, you see a beautiful dream. From the inside, it feels like slow suffocation. We are not living in paradise. We are trapped in a system of illusions, a prison designed to look comfortable. So when you envy what we have, remember this: our wealth is not freedom, it's anesthesia. And we are telling you now, do not chase this lie. Don't. Dear Africa,
the video I've just shared to you confirms something that I've been thinking for so long. The wealth that we see in these Europe countries, in America, when we watch these movies, when we watch the news, television and everything, I think it's just designed to make black people, to make Africans believe it is always soft on the other side, green on the other side, because there is some things they don't show us in television. There is some things they don't show us. So the video you have just watched, this white man admitted that what we see as wealth in the West is nothing but a mask. It confirms everything that I have been thinking, okay? He says that it is just a comfortable prison designed to keep people numb and obedient. He said that they live in houses, drive cars, walk clean streets, shop in full stores, but it's all anesthesia. It is not freedom. It is what we call sedation, okay? Now, when even white people begin to confess that their so-called paradise, their so-called land of milk and honey, it's actually slavery wrapped into comfort, shouldn't we as Africans stop chasing their illusion? Shouldn't we wake up and build our own systems of true freedom, rooted in our culture, our land, and our independence? Because we got what it takes. Now, I'll say this. That video you have watched confirms a lot of things, and I hope more Africans will watch these videos, because I have seen a lot of my African brothers and sisters even selling their ancestral land just to go and get this American dream. Some are jumping on boats, crossing these oceans as illegal immigrants just to go, to taste that dream. But they are confirming to us it is never how you think it is. Watch this video here and then I'll come back with more commentary.
I have a message for you. All of you. You want to come to Europe, huh? Stupid! I get so many questions. Chef, I want to work with you here in Europe. Chef, arrange a job for me in Europe. Guys, life is a bitch in Europe. Life is not what you think it is in Europe. And your brothers and sisters that are here now will not tell you that, because they're already ashamed. Okay? They're already ashamed. So they come home to you, they say, oh, life is fantastic. It's not. I lived 14 years in Tanzania. 14 years. Life is better. There's so much opportunity in Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. All my brothers and sisters there, trust me, if you work hard, you graft hard, your life is much better. You want to know what's happening here in Europe when you come here? I'll give you my breakdown, okay? My flat, my tiny flat, 1,400 euros a month. My energy bill, 250 euros a month. My gas bill, 100 euros a month. My my car insurance, 45 euros. My mobile phone, 50 euros. My TV, 40 euros. My local government tax, 160 euros a month. My list goes on. At the end of the month, I spent 3,000 euros only bills.
Dear Africans, after my last post, I have to tell you I'm pretty disappointed because I saw how many of you still believe we are living some kind of beautiful, wealthy, happy life. But listen carefully. What you see is not the truth. What you see is a mask they built for you to admire. Yes, they keep us with houses and cars. Yes, they keep our streets looking clean and our shops looking full. But it's not because they care for us. It's only because they need us numb enough not to fight back. They need us distracted, sedated, believing we are free while they extract from us just as they extract from you. The only reason they let us appear wealthy is so we don't realize we are slaves to the system too. Slaves to debt, to bills, to poisoned food and water, to endless advertising, to dopamine cycles that keep us scrolling instead of waking. From the outside, you see a beautiful dream. From the inside, it feels like slow suffocation. We are not living in paradise. We are trapped in a system of illusions, a prison designed to look comfortable. So when you envy what we have, remember this: our wealth is not freedom, it's anesthesia. And we are telling you now, do not chase this lie. Don't. Dear Africa,
People in West Africa are starting to live better than people in the Western world. Now, I'm not talking about everybody, but I'm talking about if you're well-to-do, if you're doing pretty good in your life, it's better to be doing really well in Africa than it is to be in America. Now, I'm currently in America, and it's like a little bit of a culture shock coming back from Africa, because when you come here, you're around people who, on paper, they're very successful, rich, and all that. But all these people are drowning in debt. They got a nice car, but they don't own it. They've got a lease on it. They may say that they own a house, but they kind of do, but they have a huge mortgage on it. But in Africa, people own everything outright. And what does this lead to, like, in day-to-day life? Well, when you know someone who's well-to-do in Africa, they're a lot more relaxed. They feel like they can go on trips with you. They're a lot more generous. People here, even though they may have a lot of money on paper in America, the second they let their foot off the gas, the second they stop hustling, those bills will catch up on them really quick. And it shows, like, kind of why I feel West Africa is the future, because here people are putting up an appearance of being rich, well-to-do, but it's fueled by debt, and it's fueled by them working two jobs. Husband and wife are both working high-paying jobs, 50 hours a week each, and doing all of that to just create this facade. Whereas in West Africa, once these guys have made it, they're living good lives. They're having that balance in life, and they're not killing themselves. So I think long-term, who am I betting on? I'm betting on the lifestyle of West Africa.
I've lived in 5 different countries in Africa. I've lived in Malawi, Botswana, Zambia, Morocco, and Nigeria. I've also traveled extensively in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Egypt. Never once in all my years of living or traveling on the African continent have I been mistreated in any way because of my ethnicity, because of my skin color. And this is in spite of the fact that I come from a country who are guilty for some of the worst colonial crimes ever inflicted throughout human history. That's right, I was born in Great Britain.
Guys, let me tell you, here in Europe, we are not living. We are merely existing. In Europe here, we are all managing life. Let me tell you why. Because 95 to 98% of Africans living abroad depends on monthly salary. Yes, they wait for their salary to come at the end of the month before they start sorting out their financial problems. And after sorting out their financial problems, they have no money left. That is what is happening to me. If I tell you for years now, it is getting to a decade, I have not been able to travel anywhere because I have no money. Man, I like keeping it real. I like keeping it real. I am stuck here. Do you understand me? I am stuck here. I do not know the way out. Even to gather money together is a problem. To get money in block is a problem. How are you going to, how can you do it? It's not possible to get block money, say thousands, the same time. You get your salary at the end of the month. After 2 weeks, it is finished. Not up to 2 weeks, it is gone. Now tell me how you can save money to go on vacation or build a house or do other things with it when you live in this kind of condition or society. Even I used to think somebody caged us with juju here. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think this could be spiritual. There could be spiritual angle in it. Like somebody, you know, caged us not to get block money. Man, think it now. A lot of people desire to come abroad. Many people want to come abroad. They do not know. I'm not telling you everybody is suffering, but majority are suffering. Many people are looking for a way out. Many people are looking, it's not, okay, we have that security, good medical facilities, infrastructures, but then we are not living. We cannot even eat what we want in Europe. We cannot eat our choice food. How much do you have to eat your choice food here in Europe? How much do you have? Man, there are foods we considered junk foods in the past. Now we eat everything. We eat, whether it is junk or not, we eat it just to survive. Man, don't pray to be poor. I mean, they tell you, don't pray to be poor. Poverty is not good. Man, they told me not to eat white bread. I'm looking for white bread now to eat because I've not eaten since morning. This is no joke. At least, it is when, let me tell you, it is when you have money that you have choices. Yes, you have choices only when you have money, but a beggar has no choice. Or not even a beggar. A poor man has no choice. A broke man has no choice. You are hungry. You eat what is available. That is the life of a poor man. Now, Seth, any food I see, any food I see now, we eat it just to survive. It is when you are fed, when you have money, that's when you begin to, look for, make choices. Man, I don't want to eat this because they told me it causes cholesterol. I don't want, well, man, all those things are bullshit. You know, choices are for the rich. Yes, but a poor man has no choice. Man, I want to end this video here. My name is Rodi. See you in my next video. I like keeping it.
Grand Rising kings and queens from Africa and across the ocean. I thank you so much and I love you. I honor you for being here today. Now, the video we had watched on the first time, a white man came forward and spoke words that most of us have always known. I know most of you knows this, and most of you, they know what he talked. It is true. What we see on the other side is not how it is. And yes, he admitted that it looks like wealth, it looks like prosperity, but it is actually a prison dressed in gold. It is anesthesia designed to sedate people, seduce people, so they don't realize that they are slaves too. Okay? They are slaves to debt, slaves to poison food, water, slaves to endless bills, slaves to social media traps, advertising, and consumerism. Now think about this, my family. More so my family from Africa. If a white man who lives in that system can stand up and confess this truth, then why are we Africans still believing that the dream of Europe and America is something to envy? Why are we still chasing visas, tickets, selling our lands? All this green card lottery, we are going up and down because we want to get that ticket, as if salvation is found in foreign land. Why? We need to rethink ourselves. We need to rethink what we want. Because when you switch to Western movies right now, when you scroll through social media, when you see your relative posting pictures from London, from New York, from Paris, oh my God damn it, what you see tall buildings, you see cars that time, cars that shine, you see shopping malls where the shelves are stacked to the ceiling, you see neighborhoods where the grass is trimmed and the pavements are clean. Naturally, as an African, you think that is wealth, that is paradise, okay? That if only I get there, my life will be better. If only I get there, my problem will be solved. No. As an African, that's what we see. But let's listen again to the white man confession. Okay? He said, from the outside, you see a building dream. From outside, you see flashy cars. But from inside, it feels like a slow suffocation. Do you hear the weight of those words? Slow suffocation. And that means what looks like a dream is actually a nightmare. Okay? It's a nightmare only disguised as something sweet. So what looks like prosperity is actually pain covered up with cosmetics. And this is the power of illusion. Okay? Illusion works because it plays with eyes. Illusion works because it gives you a surface picture that hides the depth of reality. And the illusion has been deliberately constructed because Western government and corporation knows that Africans and people across the world admire their societies. Okay, so they keep their streets clean, not because they love their people, but because they image of control and success. They keep shops full, not because they want people nourished, but because they want people addicted to endless consumption. They build cars and houses not because they value dignity, but because they know human beings will trade freedom to comfort or for comfort. So this illusion is so much powerful, and Africans have fallen for it. Truth to be said, Africans have fallen for this illusion. I once was a victim. I thought that, wow, it's only America. Wow, Europe is great. When you hear of France, you'll be like, my God, I just want day to go to France. I just want to go to Germany. You hear the name, you feel like it is something made from heaven. But the earlier I knew the truth, it was the better for me. Okay? Africans have fallen for it. We believe that our future is to look like the West. People are telling us, study hard for you to go to Europe. Study hard, you go to America. And we are like, so we were studying hard for us to go to America. Those days, my guy. Africans, we always believe that progress means skyscrapers, malls, highways, and shiny cars. But we forget one thing. A skyscraper is useless if your people are spiritually dead, okay? A mall is meaningless if your people cannot feed themselves without imports. A car is worthless if your community is drowning in debt, okay? So family, illusion is what keeps the slave smiling. Illusion is what makes the prisoner decorate the walls of his ceiling and call it home. And this is what the West has perfected in building prisons. They look like paradise. Okay? And that's why the white man's confession is so important, because he broke the silence. He pulled the curtain and said, you know what? Don't envy us. See this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't admire us. We are not free. And if they are not free, why are we still chasing them? We need to ask this question to us. as Africans. This video mostly is for Africans because our brothers, black Americans brothers, they know this. The white man said something else that must not be ignored. He said that their system keeps people sedated. Sedated means drugged. Sedated means numb. Sedated means you are alive, but you don't fight back because your senses are dulled. Now, how do they sedate people? They comfort, through convenience, through distraction, okay? They give you a house, but then trap you with a mortgage that takes 30 years to pay. They give you a car, but then drown you into insurance, fuel costs, and endless repairs. They give you food, but that food is poisoned with chemicals processed until it kills you slowly. It kills you slowly. And that's why, sorry to say, but that's why you see a lot of these countries, people, the sickness of cancer is everywhere, like a lot, okay? They give you water, but the water is laced with toxins that weaken your body over decades. They'll give you endless entertainment, social media, Netflix, sports, celebrity gossip, all designed to keep your mind occupied. So you never pause to ask, am I really free? That's how sedation works. A slave who is suffering may one day rise up and break his chains, but a slave who is comfortable will sleep in his chains, decorate them, and even defend them. And that's what the white man meant when he said our wealth is anesthesia. It is not meant to liberate, it is meant to dull. It is meant to silence, it is meant to erase people, keep crawling instead of waking up. Now, let's compare this to Africa. Many of our people are not sedated. We see poverty, we feel struggle, we face hardship, and yet, instead of recognizing this as a call to build our own path, we think the answer is to run into sedation. We think the answer is to seek the mask. But my guys, sedation is not salvation. Let's say the truth. Comfort is never freedom. Is not dignity. True dignity comes from sovereignty. True dignity comes from having control of your land, your resources, your culture, your future. Okay? That is the true dignity. And that's why I say you need to own something. You need to own something, okay? And black people are warned for years. Black people have been warning for years. In fact, since the very, very beginning. When our ancestors were chained in the belly of the slave ship, they sang songs that carried prophecy. Songs that said, this world is not what it looks like. This freedom they promise is false. Those songs were not just music, they were warnings for future generations. But my African brothers, they don't want to hear that. When black Americans say that it is like this, they don't want to hear that. When the colonial powers caved Africa like a cake, leaders like Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, and Patrice Lumumba stood up and warned, do not be deceived. They said independence without self-sufficiency is just a mask. Political freedom without economic freedom is slavery by another name. And when the civil rights movement shook America, leaders like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King warned that integration into a Sikh system is not liberation. They said, do not envy the house of the oppressor, because inside those walls, there is no peace. And in our time, even ordinary black voices, mothers, elders, have warned their children not to think that going to America or Europe will solve your problems. I myself, I have warned my brothers and sisters from Africa, don't go. Even if you go, don't think that they are better than you. Okay? Don't. Because what you see on the screen is not just what is happening on the ground. Now, a lot of Africans did not listen. Many Africans still believe that the glitter on the West was gold. Yes, many still sold their land. I see them. They are selling their land, their cattle, their inheritance, just to send their children abroad. Just one child, to send one child abroad. Why? Many still thought that salvation was across the ocean, instead in their own soil. Okay? And yet here we are today, a white man. This is a white man standing in the way, in the very heart of the West, admitting that we are not free. Our wealth is anesthesia. Our freedom is fake. Our paradise is a mask. Do you see how history is vindicating black people? Do you see how the truth always rises? Yeah. Black Americans have been warning, shouting, singing, preaching, teaching for generations, and now even the ones who benefited from the lie, they are admitting the truth. Kings and queens, this is not time to ignore. My African brothers, this is not time to ignore. It's the time to wake up, because your ancestors warned, okay? Okay, you could say maybe that was long time ago. Okay, even if it was long time ago, when your leaders warned, okay, you could say maybe they were too radical. Oh, when even the oppressor himself says we are not free, what excuse do you have left to give as my African brother? What excuse, even as my black brothers who think Europe is better than Africa, what excuse do you have to give? This is just the illusion of the wealth. I'll say this. We have what we call the hidden chains and media control. And the real tools of control that make the West look like freedom when in fact it's slavery. First chain is what I call debt. Debt is the new whip. Debt is new chain around the neck, okay? And the master used chain of iron, but today the system uses chain of paper. People in the West live their entire lives under debt. Mortgage debt, car debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, okay? And from the time a child enters university, they are chained. By the time they graduate, they already owe thousands. So when they buy a house, the chain gets tighter. When they buy a car, it gets even heavier. Every month, they work hard and harder, not for themselves, but for the bank. Family, my African brothers, is that freedom you want? No. Is that freedom? Personally, I think that is slavery. That is slavery. It's only right now the chains are invisible, but that is slavery. The white man has admitted it himself. We are slave to bills. That was his confession. Second chain is poison, food and water. They tell you the shops are full, but full of what? They are full of genetically modified food, GMOs. They are full of processed meals, of chemicals that weaken the immune system, destroy fertility and bring diseases like diabetes and cancer. Water is no better. It looks clean, but it is filled with fluoride, chlorine and toxins that slowly damage the world. That's not wealth. Do you think that's prosperity? No. That is slow poisoning disguised as abundance. Okay? Another thing, media advertising and advertising. The white man said this: we are trapped in dopamine cycles. And that means that people are addicted to constant stimulation. Social media, endless advertising, celebrity gossip, Hollywood, sports. All of this is designed to keep the mind occupied so you never stop to ask, am I really free? It's a sedation, it's a distortion, call it, and it works, okay? People spend their lives scrolling, laughing, consuming, while their freedom slips away unnoticed. Now, this is what I call hidden chains. Chains of debt, poisoned food and water, endless distractions, chains of fear. Because if you stop working even for one moment, the system swallows you. Now, let's think carefully. If this is the life the white man is confessing, then why do you, as an African, why are you still envying it? Why do we still cry for the visas as their tickets to heaven? Why do we still measure our success by how many of us live abroad? Black people wanted this long time ago. Our ancestors told us the master's house is not your home. And now the master himself admits his house is burning. What excuse do you have? We do not have any excuse. We just need to listen. We must. As Africans, we must not chase the lie. The white man admitted their wealth is mask. He admitted that it is anesthesia. He admitted that from the outside it looks like a dream, but from inside it is suffocation. Okay? Let me say this. Salvation is not in Europe. Salvation is not in America. Salvation is not in the land of the oppressor. Salvation is in Africa. Why? Because Africa still has what they have lost. Africa have land they can feed us, or they can feed from. Africa has resources they can sustain. Africa has culture that can guide people. Africa has community that can protect. Africa has spirituality that can strengthen. The West is collapsing under the weight of its own lies. Their families are broken, their youth are addicted, their people are drowning in debt. Their nations are ruled by corporations, not by humanity. And now, even they are confessing that their pride or their paradise is fake. Why should African run there? Why should we abandon our inheritance for their illusion? Why should we leave the sun to chase shadows? And this is why black people want. For years, they knew that envy of the West will blind Africa. They knew that chasing the mask would lead Africans away from the true liberation. They knew that only by building our own path could we ever be free. From here, We are clear. Stop chasing the lie. Stop believing that your worth is measured by how close you are to the West. Stop believing that your destiny is to look like them. Stop believing that their dream of, or the dream of another man's land is greater than the reality of your own. Africa is the future, but only if we choose to make it so. My brothers and sisters, up to there, I think I'm okay. My African brother, I hope you have listened to me. Independence means food sovereignty, producing what we eat, not importing. Business, controlling our own industries, okay? Not letting foreign corporation dictate our survival. Independence means cultural. I hope you're okay. We'll talk about this some other time. Until next episode, peace out.